Second practice is over. Stop that yellow rockers coming down the ice, please. Stop it. Thank you. Second practice is over. Ladies, please prepare to throw your last stone draw. Throw your last stone draw in a clockwise rotation. Last stone draw in a counterclockwise rotation. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Just get all the winners for these games, so please come see me right after your game. That would be great. Okay, good luck for curling. That's yours.
Good afternoon, curling fans, and welcome to Langley, BC for the Senior Provincials. I'm Daniel Wensick, and I am joined by Courtney Wu for this game. So today's matchup is a C final between Team Arsenault, skipped by Penny Chance, against Mychaluk. I believe this is the first meeting for these teams in this event, but these two teams have definitely played against each other a few times in the past. So to meet the teams for the Arsenault rink, we have Penny Chance, Kim Slattery, Lisa Stevenson, and Cindy Blackmore. For Team Mychaluk, we have Donna Mychaluk, Victoria Murphy, Shirley Wong, and Janet Suter. The Arsenault rink calls Vernon and Parksville home, and the Mychaluk rink calls Langley, Royal City, and Parksville home. Parksville well represented on this ice today.
Yeah, for sure, and we're just seeing the first rock come down here, and this game is also one of the C qualifiers for the women's side of the competition here in Langley, so definitely some intensity going to be going on this draw.
Well, this is one of the lose and you go home situations, so backs in the wall for both teams.
All right, what are you hoping to see from both teams in this game as we're getting started?
Well, I think it's going to be whoever is going to be doing all those little simple things right, just making sure you're making your draws, you're open hitting sticks, don't rack guards. Just those little things. I think the team who does a better job of that will be victorious in this game. Getting a jump on the ice will definitely be a big benefit here. The Mychaluk team did get to practice second, so I'd imagine they'd have a slightly better feel of the ice right now, but you know, with the experience of Penny being Olympian.
And if the ice has been consistent all week, which it looks like it has been, both teams should know what to expect here.
I've seen Nick Meister and Mike Merklinger here all week, and you know those guys are going to be making some pretty pristine ice. I think that rock's in the house. What do you think?
I think it might just be biting, but it did come up a little bit short of what they were looking for to come around that center guard they had set up.
Yeah, the teams are taking lots of ice for these come-arounds, so we know we're getting some big curl here. We're going to see how this end turns out later, because Mychaluk is ignoring the two rocks on the center line, which I imagine Penny's going to use at some point to come around everything.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it'll be a bit of a messier first end than some of the first ends we see in other games.
Oh, just looking at the next sheet over in the men's game, and it seems like they're playing hits all over the place. Don't quite have the view of sheet 3 from the booth here. I can't quite tell who shot. I don't think it really matters at this point. They're not really concerned about who shot. They just want rock position early this end.
Yeah, and this one's looking pretty good for a good rock position here for Team Arsenault.
This one should be by. Even if this is a bit deep, getting shot here is pretty big. Wow, she just cleared the guard, and that's a 1.5 feet over buried. Definitely a smart call from Mychaluk here, recognizing the danger of that rock.
Oh, for sure, and this I know is something you commented on just a few seconds ago.
Maybe they heard us.
So what do you think here? 405 to 10?
even though this rock is coming up short, this probably will be a useful rock later this end. Oh, it's over curling too. Wow.
Yeah, getting some big curl here.
Not sure if that was a soft throw or if it picked something. I hear the comments. Some of the players want the guard to be ripped, but it really comes back to what the team decides and what they really want this end to be. Because getting top 4 here can be very, very good. There's a couple ways you can generate a deuce here.
I think we're seeing this one over curl a little bit as well. So
maybe we're just getting a little inside of that path where they would have been throwing their draws to the button.
Could just be a little different than previously in the week, but we'll see these teams adjust pretty quickly. I think they're both fairly experienced.
For sure, and this is going to be, I believe, the 4th rock this end in this path, plus their practice, so it should be getting pretty quick here now. I know when we're doing our draws to the button, one big thing is that if you're a little inside or outside of that path, it takes a very different shape. And the speed's usually not quite what you expect. Like this one's further out, so it might go a little further than they want it to.
And we saw Penny indicate that might have gotten a little bit outside the broom, so we might see a different shape from it, what you're saying as well.
And our first, the 2 curls on those were very, very different. But opportunity here for Mychaluk. There is a chance for them to hit and flop under the guards, and that's a wall there. If they make the roll, I believe it is, they would be shot even if they jam the back one. This is one here, even if you don't get the roll, getting the stick is very important.
This one's got to come over a little bit first.
And just because you didn't get the perfect result there doesn't mean you didn't get a result, because Team Arsenault will have to deal with that rock being shot.
And we'll see them do that right now.
That hit weight that Mychaluk threw on the last shot, I really like that. Very nice and controlled. Seems like we know this spot pretty well now.
I definitely see some consistency in this amount of ice taking you about the mid 12 foot. But rolling out on that last one, or almost out on that one, we can't really see from our angle. What kind of opportunities does that open up for Team Mychaluk here?
Well, that top 8, top 4 is very, very much available for Team Mychaluk here. Looks like they're by. This is one, as long as you're in front of the tee, pretty good result here. Looks like it goes a little bit deep, so the Arsenault team will have a chance to freeze on that. If you can move that up just, 1.5 foot, it suddenly becomes a much more difficult shot. But regardless, it's pretty good, and that lake could be a counter later. If that was on the broom, though, that curled almost 7 feet.
Yeah, we're seeing a bit of variation in the amount of curl here.
We'll have to keep our eyes on the rotation, because a lot of the rotation rate makes a big difference in how the rocks are shaped. see this rock from Penny shots. She has some good rotation on that. Even that's curling a ton.
That's
Very good shot.
Yeah, that's a fantastic outcome.
That's a very small scoring error for Mychaluk. Not a lot of real estate. It's going to be really, really hard for them to get a second point.
And is this where we're seeing a little bit of the strategy coming in from leaving those guards up front?
I'd say more of what's going on here is a bit more execution in the first couple of shots. Like Mychaluk was correct that they could put her rock around those guards and be in a good position. The peel definitely would have been the lower risk call, and that comes back to team preference in terms of how you want to play your ends. We often see teams in the first end, they want to play a little bit more defensively, but that's just a preference. For me, I kind of like going for it in the first end because everyone's kind of trying to get their feet wet, and I find it's a really good opportunity to jump on some misses if they come forward. That being said, it is a bit of a risky strategy at times. I mean, there is a bit to be said about no guts, no glory, right? This one definitely has a bit more weight than Penny's rock.
I don't know if I would say definitely. It's looking okay.
It's at least back 4.
Get a little rub off of the top one, but I think you can still see most of it.
You should be able to see almost the entire thing. This is one you don't even need to get rid of the rock. You can just kind of blast it out, and they're forced. I saw them look tentatively, potentially at. I thought they said freeze, but I guess they just want the hit and stick here and shrink the rings further. This is the first hit we've seen this end, and I didn't see if they were practicing this at all during their pre-game practice. But sometimes we do see these rocks over curl.
Saw them throw a couple hit weights in their practice, but not quite in this path. So some idea, but maybe not all the information.
There we go. I heard Penny ask for a bit more ice. Probably sensing that same kind of thing where this could curl more than they expect it to. Usually just a little bit sharp in these on the first rock or two. I know we did see a couple hits earlier because Mychaluk cleared off the front. Nice hit and stick there. Penny.
And it'll be a little bit of a difficult score for Team Mychaluk here.
I don't even know if you can score. Depends how deep that other red rock is. It might just be a shot here to get up a steal of 1.
Let's see if we can hear anything from Donna as she comes down the ice here.
Yeah, she said there's no way to get shot. It's one of those unfortunate situations as a skip. You kind of have to take your lumps and go, well, we're not scoring here, so let's limit the damage.
It is the first end, though. There's plenty of time left in this game.
Oh, absolutely. And it will be a steal of 1 for the Arsenault team in the first end. I will say a couple more rocks in play does make the games a lot more exciting to watch.
It does. It sets up for a few extra fun shots.
Well, usually when there's a couple more rocks in play, there's the level of precision that you need to do to play that just goes up just that enough that I think when we're playing style like that, it gets a lot more fun because you're forced to be a little more engaged. Our first look at the other side of the rink, because I believe last and every single rock was an intern away from the wall. Except for a couple of the one around the corner guard. Yeah, huge curl on this ice.
It is definitely fun to play on ice with a bit of curl, though.
Couple league games lately. It's a little frustrating when you think you throw it good and you watch it fall off the sheet. Just the level of shot making when there's this much curl seems to increase quite dramatically. That's why they put so much effort into the ice and the national championships to be so good. I know we're quite blessed in BC to have some of the best ice makers in the world here.
Oh, definitely. So it looks like we're seeing a bit of a change in the approach to the end, going from setting up some of those guards to trying to come into the house here.
Well, Team Arsenault here definitely sees they can kind of take a more passive approach here now that they've got a lead in the scoreboard. They don't technically need to score again in the game until potentially later, so they're going to wait for Mychaluk to probably make the first move here and force the issue. Might have been one of the first rocks we've seen really undercurl here.
Yeah.
I did notice that Penny Shantz gave a little bit less ice than Donna Mychaluk gave on the hit there, but it looks like the rotation is one thing that's kind of playing into that decision.
Yeah, maybe for the viewers, could you explain some of that effect of the rotation and what that means?
Yeah, for sure. So usually when a rock has a fair amount of rotation, it can help delay a little bit of that break point and when the rock starts to take a swing. Whereas if a rock has a bit less rotation, so this rock coming down the ice has less rotation than what the Arsenault team has been throwing, so it's going to have a bit more time to curl because it breaks a bit earlier. There's benefits to both, because you're going to get a little more curl with less rotation. You just have to know how to kind of utilize it. But on ice that swings this much, it can be very difficult to place, say, a guard. This one's a little bit of a softer throw, and it's curling big. Or 10-4, that's not really that down. It looks like more of just a throw or a little bit of a softer handle.
Yeah, and I guess I'll keep asking you questions. What does 10-4 mean for some of the people watching?
10-4 is the time between the hog lines that she's clocked. So Kind of the standard hit weight for a lot of these teams is that 10 to 10.5 seconds between the hogs. Now you might throw a little bit more on ice that curls a lot to have a little bit less curl. Or on ice that's a bit straighter, where you have a bit more precision, you might bring the weight down a little bit. Say throw like an 11 or a 12, more like board weight. Very nicely placed rock there. The rocks look pretty even. So there will be no double available here. I guess one of the other benefits to playing a bit more defensively for an under 2 is you can bank some time on the clock. These are time games. Teams have 30 minutes of thinking time to play the entire game. Teams do have 2 timeouts in case they want a little bit more time to deliberate a shot. I was saying earlier in kind of the pregame, these open hits and sticks are very important shots.
Yeah, these teams definitely make them look easy, but it is very important.
These are shots that are very easy to kind of have kind of those mental lapses where you're like, oh, it's an easy shot, no problem, and then you overthrow it, turn it, something doesn't go quite right. But that was made perfectly. I know sometimes we joke that there's players out there who will make all the hard shots and they'll miss all the easy ones.
As we're watching this rock come down the ice, I think we can tell by the video feed as well as the audio there are other games on the ice right now. So we'll do a quick trip around the rink here to update all the curling fans on some of the scores. On the sheet B, we have Team Federer versus Team Richter, with Team Federer taking 1 in the first end. On sheet C, or sorry, sheet D it would be.
Sheet 4, yeah.
We have Team Sutton versus Team Craig, and Team Craig has gotten 2 in the first end there. That's the other game you can kind of see in focus on our video feed here. And the last game on the ice is also from the men's event, with Team Longworth taking on Team Bushy, and Team Bushy looks like they have stolen 1 in the first end.
Some big games going on in the men's event. Wes Craig is, I believe, the defending champion of this event. And Team Bushy also won the previous edition of the seniors as well.
Yeah, and for some of our viewers who might not know, these 2 women's games that you can see on the feed are both for a qualifying spot in the playoffs, but the men's event has actually already started the playoffs. So those 2 are playoff elimination games going on. And all the scores can be found on the Curl BC website under the live scoring link.
Draw there from Victoria Murphy, very well placed. Like, that is about as even as you could possibly make it. we're definitely seeing the teams settle into the ice a little bit more in the second end here.
Everybody looks a little bit more comfortable, and yeah, being able to place those rocks even really shows that they're getting a little closer on the line and weight there.
Gets a little roll to the outside. Yeah, we're definitely noticing the team's settling in a bit more. I expect this one to be close.
This is a big opportunity and in a little bit more of an open end than the previous one.
Kind of call this one like the junior deuce, where you're just kind of waiting for that simple miss and then just simple execution after that.
Yeah, I think the really important thing here is that Team Mychaluk has some really good execution after that initial miss by Team Arsenault to be able to have this opportunity here.
Yeah, they made all the simple. Split the house perfectly. And all their hits and sticks. There you go. It's a good deuce from Team Mychaluk. There we go, the camera a little bit more in focus.
There we go, perfect.
I know I'm starting to need glasses, but I don't think I need it for that reason.
All right, we're seeing about the same amount of ice being taken coming this way again, that mid-12 area, just to get to that center line guard.
Bit of a different approach here for Mychaluk. They put up center guard, whereas we noticed Penny Chance asked for in lost end, so different styles of play here.
I think every team has their version of a game plan. Right.
Absolutely. And sometimes the later in the game you go, we start seeing teams start to play a little bit more aggressively at times.
Some really late swing on that one.
Well, that one had the bigger rotation, as I was mentioning earlier. Mychaluk's going to ignore that, which is probably a good move, but old coach Ken Brown, he'll have a good chuckle about this one, as we're always talking about those little kickers at the back 12. Once the angles get set up a little bit, you never know when those come back into play, though.
Well, then going back to what you were saying in the first end, all about rock position, if they get it in the right place, this could be really good for them.
Absolutely. This one does look a little bit toasty. However, if they do freeze it, it wouldn't basically negate that rock, but it does look like it's bouncing off and won't be shot. I think they got shot. I think Mychaluk is shot rock at the back. Not by much, though. This one's definitely a different line. Just a little bit of an over adjustment there.
It looks like it doesn't quite have the legs to get into the house on that one.
Yeah, that's one you want to have at least in the house somewhere. It looks like there's definitely two very different paths out there, where if you're a little bit out, it's not curling the same way as if you're a little bit inside of that path. It's one of the fun things about curling ice is that it's not uniform. There's always different paths to get to different places, and you could actually have two different paths to get to the same place on the sheet.
That's why being able to read the ice and read the field of play, just like in a lot of different sports, is such an important skill to have.
Hugely important. I'm a little surprised by the line call on that one. I thought they were going to play a little bit thinner and try and roll to the wing and save their back one. There are two ways to jam this red rock, so... And that red rock is pretty dangerous for the Mychaluk team.
Looks like they just want to do a little bit of a hit and flop behind those guards.
I believe Mychaluk is sitting 2 at the back, but I'm not 100% sure. This is one. We are still on seconds rock, so I imagine it's still early enough for them to say we have a chance to still generate our 2, especially with the front of the house open. This one looks a little deep, though. I think they're going to try and freeze the back ones at this point.
That looks like what they're going to do.
Yeah, it's just a lot straighter out. Probably just a lot straighter and faster out there than they're expecting it to be. That's still a pretty good shot, all considered, because Mychaluk can't really remove it without any risk, because I believe it double jams. The rock position has to be pretty good here to make that not count. A little bit of a fortunate break there.
Victoria really had her draw weight last end with some of those opportunities made, so we'll see if she's got the same going this way, or if it might be a little bit different.
A little bit deep. It probably is a little bit faster in that middle track, because that's where all the teams are practicing before the game, whereas if you go to the wing, it's not played as much in practice, so usually it's a little bit stickier. I know last year when I was playing the mixed doubles provincials here, it got very, very fast. We're not seeing as much curl here, so probably that sharpness from the early game is starting to wear off as well.
Yeah, I did hear in some of the audio earlier on one of the draws, they were asking for a 15 or 20 for this draw, which means the back line to hog time of the person throwing the rock, which is quite fast ice then.
That is incredibly quick. Not only that, this ice is also very fast under the foot, so even though they say like 415, 420, it feels even slower than that.
Yeah, I think that's some advanced weight reading techniques on your part.
I'm sorry going into so much detail on that. This one caught a different track. Look how much it's curling. I think there's a hole there that they could access that back yellow rock, but I think they're going to play the draw here on the intern side. The left side off the wall. Or I could see them opening it up.
Yeah, we'll see if Penny agrees with you here. Very specific weight call there.
It was very
for the
specific.
Hit. But every team has their own system of how to call these weights.
Oh, it cuts through. Nice shot. Very well done.
That's a great shot.
Very well done. I'm a little bit surprised that she chose to play that now because it does leave the entire forefoot open for Mychaluk. Yes, they are sitting at 3 right now, but the entire front of the house is open with backing. Now, of course, she is going into new paths by doing this, though.
Yeah, but we're definitely seeing enough swing in the ice that they can get around some of these guards.
Yeah, I like this call from Mychaluk. We've seen this spot a few more times this end than the other turn.
They are going out a little further, though. We saw that first rock at the end and some of these draws being thrown at the mid 12 foot. Now we're seeing the very edge of the house. We're almost getting out of the house here to throw these shots.
Well, she is trying to hit what looks like middle to side of the 4 here.
Oh yeah, it's just a little bit different of a path than I think they've been throwing the rest of the end.
I could see this being a little bit slower out of the gate, but once she gets to about halfway, it probably will be just as fast as anywhere else in the sheet, just because all those rocks earlier in the end were kind of sliding here. She does have 2 rocks to come to at the back of the house, so lots of room for this. Lots of tolerance. Oh, I heard back line. This has a lot of curling to do.
I think just a touch more weight than they were looking for.
Well, I think she was going that far out and she expected it to be a little slower than it really is. So that's probably about 6 feet through the house, I think. I know exactly what Penny's thinking. She's going, well, she's not throwing the same shot twice. No way.
Yeah, we haven't seen the other side of the sheet much this game yet. Or not game, this end yet.
It seems like we're... Well, it's one nice thing, especially when you're skipping and with a team, is when you know a spot, you want to play that as much as you can because your odds of making a shot just go up significantly. As soon as you get out into more of no man's land or different things, you're starting to take guesses. It's one thing a lot of like the top teams will do is they don't like guessing. They want things that they know. I think the perfect spot for this rock's probably actually like half open, if she can swing it, and half in the 8 be perfect here. If I could have a telestrator, I would be drawing a little rock there if I could.
We'll put the request in for later.
Oh, this looks a little hot too.
Yeah, you see the sweepers indicating it's a bit heavy. Maybe it's a little faster in that path than both teams were expecting.
I'm surprised that that's as deep as it is. That's through too.
So they do end up giving her the same shot twice.
Surprising. It's very nice to be able to hear all the different players out there. I could hear Team Bushy out in sheet 5, and we have the microphone set up at the near end on sheet 3. This one looks pretty close. The line looks bang on. As long as the weight's there, she looks like she's got a honey.
The sweepers are really going on this one.
Perfect adjustment. There might be a chip there to get the second point, but I don't know for certain. Definitely just play for your 1 here. Unless I'm mistaken, I believe that rock that was the first rock thrown at the end that was back here, I don't think that's moved. Really?
I think it's still in the same spot.
I think it's still there. I'm gonna say it was almost ended up being one of those flops that counted at the end. This one has some curling to do. Got to settle down and hurry. Oh, it's going to bounce off. Ooh, that's very close.
We'll have to wait and see for their call on the ice.
From the camera, it looks like yellow, but given the intent look, it's probably going to be a measure here.
You can see them carefully moving the rocks in the back there.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a measure.
As we're waiting for this measure, we'll take the viewers on a trip around the rink again for a score update after 2 ends. In our other women's game, it was a blank in the second end to keep the score at 1-0 for Team Federer. And then for the 2 men's playoff games, in the Sutton versus Craig game, Team Sutton did get 2 in the second end to tie the game up there.
Looks like Wes Craig scored a big 5 spot on Dennis Sutton in 4th on sheet 4.
Yeah, in the third end. I'm still on the second end. And on we're just seeing some of the third ends wrap up as well. But after 2 ends on the Longworth Bushy game, Longworth came back with a big 3 in the second end to go up 3-1 in that game. And as we get through, we'll keep updating on scores.
You don't see a lot of big ends in curling like that too often.
All right. And what was John's call there?
Someone's gonna post the score. It looks like it was Mychaluk as they're getting ready to throw here. The Arsenault team will not be happy as the pocket got picked there big time.
Yeah, it just didn't quite curl up enough on that one. The weight looked like it was okay.
Well, it's more that that was basically 2 misses on the skip shots there, because you had a chance to really lock down the house and get a big end there. I didn't see the call on that, if that was supposed to be in or if that was supposed to be a guard. I guess another possible thing is the ice could be downhill going to the scoreboards. So we did see almost every rock last and go deep.
Yeah, for sure. This one's supposed to be in, so let's see where it comes up.
And this one was called top 8. This one looks quite short.
Just catching a bit of that top one as well.
Probably would have been in the house if it got by.
Seeing the sweepers work hard on this one.
I wonder if there's a little bit of a ridge out there, because that one didn't curl much. Comparatively to the rest of the sheet, it's still curling quite a bit.
Yeah, they were calling the whole way that needed to curl.
Hurt a lot of weight. That was a lot of weight. Back to that pregame. Those hits and sticks, so important. I forgot who the first person to tell me that was. Hit the 8-foot, make your hits and sticks. The rest of it's easy.
They're pretty important steps that you might have heard from more than a few people.
I've definitely heard it from a few coaches. Maybe dozens. I feel like I could hear Big Merc saying something like that.
Really great T-line weight on that one.
Very good weight. With how much this ice curls, you can easily get to the inside of that too. Oh, just lost that one. Looked like a little bit of a delayed sweep on that. The weight was actually perfect on that. That was definitely back T weight. I caught them a little bit by surprise on the curl.
There's benefits and risks to throwing some of that soft weight.
That soft weight is definitely some of the weights that we're seeing the top teams get a lot better at, just because they're so good at managing. Ooh, this is almost a better flash in here than the jam. A little bit of a break there. I'll get this one out. Not sure if that was a little bit of an overthrow or if that was a bit full from what they wanted. Definitely the further out you go, the straighter it seems to get. We gotta go hard on this one.
Yeah, see, can you call him for the sweep on this one?
Once it starts curling, there's no stopping it.
I just couldn't quite capitalize on that.
That was inside of that area where we have said it's curling a little bit more, just because you're getting into that middle area. I'm not sure if it's sharp pebble or if it's the shape of the ice. Could be a bit of both, too. With how much curl we're getting, like we missed that guard by over 2 feet. And it's edge on edge now. I'm surprised that we're not getting the curl there.
Yeah, it was even a little bit lighter than they were looking for as well. They were calling 3-4 the whole way, which means just a tight guard or landing top 12.
Possible they killed the line early with the sweep.
Could be.
Based on Penny's reactions, I'm assuming it has more to do with the operator than the ice.
Yeah, they'll give Team Mychaluk another chance at this draw.
You know, you give them the chances, they're going to make this. They're going to make one of these. There we go.
Yeah, you hear a great sweep call from the back end there, and it's true, that was a very, very well-managed rock.
I'm a little bit surprised that Penny's playing it this way instead of the other way, because the other way, I feel like you've got two ways to make it. You can make it straight back, or you can make it into the side of the other guard and straight back.
That is some advanced angle analysis there.
Or I can't see English properly from this angle. That's possible too. This looks pretty close though. I think she's got it. Well, that's an unfortunate break there.
It doesn't look like that back one stayed in the house.
This one I'm a little surprised by that they're going to be going through the hole to get to that spot. With how much the ice curls, that's a little bit tricky of a spot to navigate.
Yeah, what would you do instead in your own game?
Well, I might be going wide side around for 2 reasons. One is that I'm only navigating one guard, and the other is that unless I over curl the rock, odds are I'm going to leave a piece open on the outside. Whereas if she leaves a piece open on the inside here, that could leave the Arsenault team a hit and roll to sit buried. Usually you see this kind of thing on lead shots where you say you want to keep one side open on the guard or not. I know I've been burned a few times on that.
They're really sweeping on this rock, though.
This looks pretty good, as long as I get by.
They're calling a 6 weight, which is really, really good weight here. That's top four-ish.
I think I gotta stop on this one. Very nice shot. So she's going to ignore that rock and try and get to the forefoot herself.
They're doing a little bit of thinking on this one. What would you be looking at in this scenario?
Well, draw here definitely makes sense because I don't really think you're getting rid of that. You're not moving, for sure not moving that rock that Mychaluk just threw. Looks like she's playing a corner freeze on this. It's very similar to what she did in the first end. But this one's so much more precise than what she threw earlier. I mean, to be shot here, you've only got, and to not be able to remove that rock, you've got maybe 2 inches of real estate to hit. Anything else is not quite good enough. I think if the score was a little bit closer, you might see her play the double.
I mean, the score is still fairly close considering it is 3-1, but Team Arsenault does have to get something going here.
Typically the best skips in these events are very patient. Provincial championships are a long week. With that one coming a bit short, I do have a feeling that the ice might be downhill going that way because I wouldn't expect Penny to be off by that much.
Yeah, both these teams, including Penny, are filled with just very skilled players. They compete plenty. We see them lots at these various provincials and events.
I think they've got more experience in their hand than I probably do in my entire body. I think she's playing a guard here. I don't really see the need to guard here. Just because Arsenault only really left with that one draw path to the side of the 4, where you could almost beat her to it and just put it top 12 in that, and just drop it in that path, and suddenly Penny Chance will be drawn against 2. Not a lot of real estate to hit there either. It's one of those situations where almost the best guard is second shot. Looks like she's got this.
Really nice weight.
Yeah, we're going to see Penny draw to the side of the 4 on the wide side. That's one where if I was the Mychaluk team, I definitely would have been trying to get second shot, just top of the 8. Just put a little bit more pressure on the Arsenault team.
And maybe this just goes back to what you were saying earlier about different game plans and just what your team is comfortable with.
I think earlier in the ends you can make that argument. Later in the ends, usually it starts getting a little more cut and dry of what you want your skip shots to look like. The difference will then come down to like what your skips toolbox is. Line looks really good on this. This looks pretty good.
Yeah, I think the team agrees with you from the sounds of it.
There you go, nice shot from Penny.
All right. And now
Good.
I think that with that 1 point, we'll be headed into the 4th end break in this game.
Yeah, we could be back in 5 minutes with some updates.
Right?
All right, and we are back at the 2023 BC Senior Provincial Championships. Quick update going into the fourth end break on all the sheets. On sheet 2, Federer and Richter are all tied up at 2. On sheet 4, Team West Craig has a commanding 9-2 lead over Team Sutton. And on sheet 5, Team Longworth has a 3-2 lead over Team Bushy. Back to our game on sheet 3. Team Mychaluk will have Hammer in this fifth end. One-point lead with Hammer definitely puts you in the driver's seat going forward. Scoring here or a blank would be really, really good for the Mychaluk team. I think we're going to start seeing the Arsenault team, skipped by Penny Shantz, take a little bit more risk here, especially with that rock only hanging on the back. Looks like I'm flying solo a little bit here. You might see Courtney out on the ice taking some photos, which will be posted on the Curl BC social media pages later today. And for all you guys on Facebook and Twitter, make sure you engage with us at Curl BC. Event news and recaps will be posted there. This is not looking like the dream start for the Arsenault team with that rock slipping into the rings. I think that's 2 biters in the rings now for Team Mychaluk. There will be a point in time where they go, nope, just can't deal with it, gotta clear it out. The Arsenault team is definitely not at the point where you need to sell the farm. For the Arsenault team, a blank here is not the end of the world. It's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world. Nice little double take out there. I think you're going to see Mychaluk come up and rip that guard. Peel the guard, open up the end, and take the hammer into 6. And nice peel there from the Mychaluk team. You're going to see these guards go back for a little bit. I'm going to get John Call on the line here and see if he's got any good blank puns for me. John, if you're watching this, shoot me a text and give me some good ideas. For the Mychaluk team here, it's going to be imperative that they stay mentally strong. Open peels on paper look like some of the easier shots in curling, but again, easy to just get a little bit, I wouldn't say lazy, but those are some of the easier shots to not stick to your process. So for them, just making sure they stick to their process is going to be all they need to do to keep control of this end. A little bit of the miscue there. It looked like it was an okay throw, but it looked like they jumped it for the curl. These are situations where it starts getting a little bit dangerous going around an opponent's corner guard. The Arsenault team is looking for the force here if they can. There's a little bit of the risk of trying to play around the guard. So they're debating between the peel or the draw. But they're opting for the peel. This is one where a little bit of the experience could show. Usually when we see decisions like this, usually the skip puts the broom down and the team knows exactly what they're going to be doing. That's when I think there's just a little bit of an alignment on that one, where making sure everyone's on the same page and everyone's bought in really helps with dialing into the shot and making them. Not sure if Victoria fully bought into playing the peel. I think she wants to play a bit more, wants to go for the draw and really go for the 2 points. It's a good moment that you can discuss after the game. Ooh, 4:15 is quite quick ice. Penny Shots made her draw in the last end. I expect this one to be close. Looks like the weight's a little bit deep, but does the trick. I think at this point now in the end, someone's going to score here. As a skip, these are the shots that I personally love playing, just knowing that you have a chance to draw around the corner guard and try and go for that skips 2. At this point, when you know someone's going to score a point, you might as well try and go for the deuce. Worst case, it's going to be a pretty open shot for a single point. Perhaps a little fortunate to have the extra weight there and get by the guard. Almost lost that. Big draw here for Penny Shots, as Freeze here basically would take the end away and leave Mychaluk with a force. So it's very nice rock management there by the Arsenault front end. Nice shot by Penny Shots. I think that rock is overburied by a little bit, so I don't think they're going to be playing for the extra point here. There is risk involved with playing for the extra, because if you ever were to miss the red rock, you would be going through the house and would be a steal. And scoreboard control here is so important. I'm pretty sure the statistics say that you're better off being up 2 than tied with. Looks like they're just going for the open draw for 1. Definitely the right call here. Sweepers earn their keep on that one for sure.
Definitely just got it there, but it is good enough for the 1.
Well, that mission accomplished for Team Arsenault. They got their force, which they're looking for.
And they have hammer back as well.
Five rock rule in play here, so expect to see a little bit more play to the wings here. This game, a lot of the play has gone towards the center.
It has. It's quite a bias towards it.
this guard. Not quite coming over enough. Maybe it did. Didn't get by that guard by too much, though.
Yeah, it just came over there. I don't know how much space there is to do much with it, but we might see it come back into play later.
I think that guard's going to have to move for that to come back into play. That's a very, very tight hole to be navigating.
Yeah, I did just get back in from a round of pictures out there, and the intensity is high. It's even more apparent when you're out there than you can hear in the audio from our feed here.
The intensity's always ramped up a few notches for these playdown games. I think you can get the roll way underneath that red guard. Will be a little tight to that front one, but it's definitely possible. We've seen enough curl on this ice.
It's early enough in the end that this makes sense to take a bit of a chance on this one just to see.
Yep. Mission 1 on this is make sure you hit and stick. I have a feeling this end's going to get pretty messy after this.
Yeah, with rolling out, it kind of opens up this opportunity for Team Arsenault to come around these guards that are here.
This one looks like it's overcrown a little bit. That's pretty good.
Looks like great weight on it.
So I think we're going to start seeing... oh, she spun the run. Thought she might play the freeze. This is one of those situations where you do have to be careful with how you do make this run, because if it isn't made perfect, because these are guaranteed shots, is you could leave another corner guard on the side. Suddenly the door is wide open for the Arsenault team. They can split the house and set a couple under those guards.
Yeah, that looks like exactly what's happened here, so we'll see if Team Arsenault can capitalize.
That's one, if you're going to play something like that, I think you're better off usually going to play to kill the guards rather than play for the run. At all levels of Crone, it's nice to be playing shots where there's multiple ways to get a good result, rather than just one way to get a perfect result.
Definitely want to be looking at what tolerances are and what a good way to miss would be as well. Not that any of us want to miss shots.
No one tries to miss shots. And Ricardo just squeeze this one into the house. Oh, that just stopped.
Yeah, so now an opportunity here, I think, for Team Mychaluk.
Apologies to the Mychaluk fans for my pronunciation. I have been corrected that it is Mychaluk.
hear Penny asking for a 9.5. What might the reason for that be?
I feel like if she's asking for more weight, she's probably expecting this to curl more than they want it to. That'd be my gut. That's actually not a bad result because Mychaluk is likely going to hit this rock. If they nose, the entire house is open. If they roll, they're behind the tee line. So that's actually quite a good roll. It's not ideal going behind the guard, but it's still better than nose.
Sir, no, 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 no. No. Janet, if you can.
Always a bit of an awkward sweep when you're next to the wall there.
No falling. I'd be drawing here for sure. Yes, one thing that is available for the Arsenault team is they do technically have that split on the top red one in view right now. It is a tricky shot, but it is there if they want to get the extra points later this end, and it's available. Possible it might not be available. Wasn't a lot of room between those.
Not a ton of space.
I'm not sure how much that shot zone you can see. This event is not using the no-take rule. That is just reserved for the men's and women's Scotties and Briar playdowns.
Yes, it does have a little bit of a different strategy than if you're playing in one of those categories.
I haven't noticed a lot of teams here playing the tick shot on lead rocks, though.
Watch the curl. Yeah, Janet. Where? Yeah, Janet, hard. Janet, hard. Janet, hard. Okay, whoa, whoa, whoa. Sorry.
Yeah, they were calling heavy here, so we'll see where and if this stops.
That touch should be okay. Looks like the Arsenault team is shot. Yep, they're definitely shot. I'd almost be tempted to try and play the split here. It's not easy, but the potential reward is pretty high.
Yeah, I think it's a shot that can be very helpful, but I think you need to know what to look for in order to make that split.
Figure out the split at worst, you're probably going to be getting the second one in the rings. It could be that she's afraid that if she plays it, Mychaluk might play a suicide freeze and get out of the end entirely. one you have to be buried. Don't leave the double. That didn't curl as much as I thought it would.
Oh, just based off all the other ones that we've seen.
Can't quite tell how buried it is. Looks like we have our first final out there. Team Craig defeating Team Sutton. Team Craig's going to be off and get some food before their 3-4 game later tonight.
And that will be starting at 7 o'clock, I believe.
Pretty sure that's correct.
Getting a nod from the people who know.
I think Mychaluk is playing the draw here.
It looks like it.
What would you be playing if you were here?
That's usually the question I ask you.
Well, I'm going to ask you this time.
I don't know. I think with this being the way it is, I don't disagree with this call.
Well, I think it depends how open that back red rock is. If it's wide open, I'd just be hitting it and giving them the 2. If for whatever reason this hangs, you could be looking at giving up 3 here, and then your scoreboard control kind of evaporates.
Yeah, you're playing the risk mitigation plan.
Well, I mean, you have scoreboard control right now. You might as well maintain it. Uh-oh.
You can hear from Victoria that the line might be a little bit off here.
This has a long way to curl. Gotta get a piece buried here. Courtney, can you see how open the rock is? Based on the reactions, I'm assuming it didn't curl enough.
It doesn't seem like it quite curled enough there. There is still some risk of a jam at the back there, it looks like.
And you still stick around, you're getting your deuce.
Always nice to get the bonus points, though.
It's one of the things I was telling you when we're playing mixed doubles. It's always nice to make those shots for the extra.
Yeah. And that's definitely what they'll be looking for here.
Watching some of the top skips around right now, whether it's Carrie Anderson or Kevin Cooey or Brad Gushu, they're always making those shots for the extra point. If they're sweeping this must be really close. Don't jam the back one. I think she gets away with it. And it looks like a 3 spot.
Yep, that's confirmed by the players on the ice, saying 3 red.
Very patient in there from the Arsenault team. Yeah, that end felt kind of almost like a 3 out of nowhere.
Yeah, there's definitely some good execution that helped aid that.
Quick score update as we get into the 7th end here. Sheet 2. Federuk and Richter are all tied up at 3, playing 7. And over on sheet 5, Longworth has a 4-3 lead with Hammer over Team Bushy.
corner guard being called by Donna Mychaluk here.
This is definitely a matter of preference, because you can see teams play for the extra points here. Sometimes you might see teams hit the rock in the top 4 and just go for a blank and try and take it to the next end. There's definitely no wrong way to do this. We have seen instances where teams will go so hard to force the other team and they suddenly force them to 6. It might be a small exaggeration, but you get the idea.
Yeah, and just for the viewers there who haven't watched one of our games previously, these are 8-end games, so this is the second to last end coming up here.
I think if anything does look too risky, you're going to see Penny Shots and the Arsenault team take the low-risk approach here.
Yeah, this is definitely a game of momentum as much as it is skill, and with that 3, there's a little bit of momentum swinging towards Team Arsenault and Penny here.
I definitely like this call. Just the nose hit, try and keep them clustered. Again, just being patient here. Wait for an opportunity to use that corner guard later.
Yeah, set up in a really good spot.
Now they did spill the Arsenault rock underneath their own corner guard, but that could be used as backing later.
Yeah, the immediate, I think, gut reaction is not great, but I think there's a lot of opportunity with that rock, seeing how early it is here.
Yeah, a lot of teams might say, oh my god, we put their rock underneath our own guard, but it does look like it's either on or just in front of T, so it is usable for them later. Based on the setup, I think someone's scoring here. I don't think we're getting a blank. I think wish granted for Mychaluk here. Plays now going to the wing.
Yeah, and that's definitely what you're looking for when you have hammers. You want to keep that center open so you can easily get in there on your last shot.
When you don't have hammer and you're playing around the wing, it's always a little bit of a dicey situation. You could play almost a near perfect end and have one little mistake near the end and suddenly you're giving up 3.
Alright, what are you thinking now that they've ticked it over a little bit?
Well, you're definitely going to see Penny try and keep these rocks separated. Notice it's not ideal here because it leaves a pretty simple hit and roll or hit and flop or double for Mychaluk. Definitely want to stick this though. Don't think you want to roll into that corner guard though. That's just going to leave a bigger pocket.
I think that might be what they've done though.
Yeah, little bit of a bump back here into the back 4, back 8 area, and spilling underneath the guard, you'd be shot and pretty much welded there. I don't think you're getting rid of it. Starting to look kind of like a mixed doubles power play end here. Except the rocks are swapped.
There's also a few more rocks in this version of the game being thrown.
Let's have some curling to do.
Again, just that little bounce off.
I actually really like the weight that she threw there. I just think she probably had a little too much ice for that kind of shot, or she was a little wide.
Yeah, that's good too. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if she gets to nose with that weight, I really like that result. But again, all that plays to the wing, so even though it feels like you're kind of digging your way up, there's still going to be opportunities for Mychaluk to get a deuce here. Now that frees a little harder.
Yeah, the way that that red one rolled behind the guard, even though it is behind the guard, it's a little bit of a different angle.
Well, I think that red, like that top red rock, I think it's a little bit exposed, so you're not really going to get a chance to freeze this perfectly the way you want to. Yeah, any bounce here is not good. There's not really a lot of room for error on this. Well, I heard some talk about rotation. A little softer and just kind of took off on them. The weight was really, really good on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure, just based on the location of our microphone, where that comment, or who said that comment, but it seems teams are picking up on a difference in rotation here.
I don't think that middle red rock's going anywhere right now, so that's going to shrink the rings for the Mychaluk team for the rest of the end here, I think, unless something changes. Our Arsenault team does have to be careful here, because if this isn't placed properly, there could be a freeze for Mychaluk to get out of the end and set up a 2. This one's coming up short. And this is opportunity time.
What can the Mychaluk team do here, besides the shot that they are already calling?
Well, this is the shot. It's an unfortunate mistake from the Arsenault team. Even if that rock was on the other side of the sheet, I think it would be in a better shot, just because this freeze wouldn't be quite as juicy.
And this freeze would be protected now too, right?
If she gets to the top 4 partially frozen, it absolutely would be very hard to remove. And again, talking about the pro miss, I don't think that shot had a lot of tolerance. Like, you really had to be top 12 or top 8 for that shot to be good. Anywhere else, it wasn't super great. Very nice shot from Victoria Murphy there.
Yeah, beautiful shot. Well called. I think that's what some of my past coaches would call team shot.
Very much team shot. Well, Victoria was so close in her last shot, so you knew she was going to be close in that one. Looking a little bit like the first end here.
Yeah.
Deja vu. As I said earlier, playing around the corner, always a little dicey when you don't have hammer. Just one little thing, and suddenly the end turns around.
It seems they have called a timeout here.
I would say coach would come out, but I don't think they have a coach with them this week. I saw Marianne here earlier, but I guess she's taken off. Maybe they can get Marianne on Zoom. She's watching the game, right?
What do you think they could be discussing here?
Well, I think they're just discussing what the ideal outcome is here. There's a couple things you could do here. One is you could try and play the run back on that red into the yellow and get rid of it. Worst case, you peel the guard and you hit on your next one. Max damage is 2. Because if you ever miss that draw, you could be looking at 3. And suddenly that 3 ball you got lost and that advantage evaporates. I think that's what they're going for here.
It looks like it.
Even if they hit, there gets a little narrow, and they hit the red into that top yellow, I don't see that back red going anywhere, really. It's just gonna dead jam. And it looks like we have another final, Team Longworth defeating Team Bushy, so Longworth will advance to the 3-4 games tonight at 7 o'clock. Congratulations, Team Longworth.
So neither of the Waysmiths that you discussed prior to this shot.
Well, if she can see basically any of that, or if that back yellow rock is fully open, I'd say that's good enough. So you can at least remove it later. But I would bet that she's going to try and get the inside corner on that and give herself a chance to get 3 points here.
Looks like they're discussing a few options, though.
Yeah, you do have to be careful with this, because there are a couple, quote, death spots you could put this in that are not very good. But there's a couple spots you can put in that are really good. And it would really put the screws to Team Arsenault. So always the fun part about these finesse shots is that the perfect spot and the death spot are only like 2 inches apart.
Yeah, and I think the importance of the rocks is, and we're getting close to the end of the game, and a reminder that this game is actually, the winner moves on, but the loser is out.
Yeah, big shot here from Mychaluk. We've seen a lot of really good draws made in this spot in this end, so this should be pretty close.
I heard a little discussion between the front end sweepers with Donna there, and hopefully they're passing her some good information to be able to make this shot.
Sweeper's on this early, so they must think it's late. Yeah, it's late.
It's really coming over there.
I wonder if something happened on the throw there for that to happen. It did bounce over, so I think that back yellow is protected. I think max damage here now is 2 for the Arsenault team. Looks like they are playing the corner freeze. Try and make this 2 as hard as possible. Wonder if the ice is getting a little stickier.
Not sure, we are in that slide path a little bit.
That's 2 that have come up a little bit short. Langley. This is a draw just to the forefoot for 2 points. This will be a slightly different path for Mychaluk, but it should be a path their front end knows quite well. This one does have a bit of that soft rotation, so this should start to die a little bit more.
Yeah, you don't want to lose this one. Whew.
Nice weight there. Good call to make sure he got by the guard.
Oh, for sure.
All right, best scenario in curling here. Down one with hammer, or up one without. The classic debate of which one would you rather be.
And I think that goes back to the game plan. Every team has their version of where they'd like to be, and both teams could be happy at this point for all we know.
According to the curling zone statistics, it is better to be up one without, but the difference isn't super significant. It really comes back to the teams. Oh, Penny's going right in. I'm surprised. Thought she'd play one corner guard here. Just one.
Now, what would the difference in strategy there be on the throwing the guard versus coming around here?
I feel like she feels that that rock that's half the 12 acts like a de facto guard. And that's probably why she's going, let's not get things too complicated, keep my draw path open. Thought they'd be sweeping this more.
It was
Very nice,
really,
really nice shot.
Yeah, it was some great weight.
It's always the dilemma in these ends, because for Mychaluk, they can't give two, but they kind of want to steal here if they're able to.
Yeah, for sure. It all kind of depends on what you're setting up to and what you're looking at the end.
The one kind of thing that kind of sucks about these situations is it literally could just be one half shot near the end of the end, and it changes the entire dynamic of how things are looking. So even though that is short, that's still a reasonably good shot.
It is still on top of the house. The rock can definitely be used.
Absolutely. With all the play in the rings, the runbacks and taps will be very short. Oh, this is curling early. This is going to be crashing the top one for sure.
The weight looked like it was fairly close.
Weight was very good, just curled early. It's going to be very interesting. There's two kind of schools of thought here. One is that that rock is not shot, but it is such a dangerous rock that you're gonna have to deal with it at some point.
Yeah, again, going back to that logic, if it's in the top of the house and it can be used, ooh, right out the hand here.
But at the same time, you almost need that rock to steal later. I think that run back is going to be available for Mychaluk after this is done.
You like that? Top 4.
I heard top 4 on that, is that right?
That's what I heard as well.
Lots of line.
They're going to have to be quite careful because they are going to start clustering their own rocks.
Lots of line.
It's just going to take one double takeout later to potentially change the tide. You also can't go deep on this either because you might leave a pocket. That's a very nice shot. I don't think we're going to see Mychaluk play any hits here. I think we're going to start seeing more of those like small back 4 tap shots and make that pocket. I kind of like the soft shots here because I think they are trying to steal. This is kind of a good situation where you could potentially steal this end. I think those Arsenault rocks are just a little bit deep.
Yes, Victoria! Yes, hard! Whoa!
Very nice shot.
Beautiful outcome there.
A little freeze tap here.
Yep, yep. Hard! Hard! Stay on it, hard! Hard!
Oh, I heard back 8. It's almost better to rack the guard at this point and try and roll to the wing. That's it. It's actually pretty good.
It does get a second rock in the house for them. Opens it up a bit there as well.
Yeah, and there's two ways you can play this. Like you can play the guard here and go hard for the steal, or you can play the double on the reds and just try and get out of this with a force. So it's probably the best end in curling. I think it's mission accomplished.
Again, we don't have the most optimal angle here to see, but I think you're right.
I think as long as even a piece of that yellow rock is buried, that's should be just good enough. Based on the way they're hitting this, though, I think it's probably pretty open.
Oh, it looks like
This is
they're on the top
pretty
hole.
pretty full though. That's not ideal. I think that yellow red makes them all go. I don't think there's a way to get rid of that yellow and save both reds right now. At least once the guard's placed.
Yeah, they've thrown this guard before, so they know what they need to do to make it.
Yep, just small adjustment here. It's one of those over and off situations. Just get off and let it stop. Alright, decision time.
Pretty quick decision seems though.
Yep.
Boy, a little bit full on this one again as well.
Ooh. Heard them call a timeout, but I think they're just using it for the extra time.
I think the timeout was on our other women's game, actually.
I heard Charlie.
It could be then. I know there's a timeout on this sheet as well. On the neighboring sheet. And for people who are wondering what's going on the other women's C qualifier game, I think they've called all 4 timeouts this end, so it's getting interesting. A lot of rocks in the house over there and a lot of things to think about, so we will update you on the outcome of that game as it comes, but scores are also available on the Curl BC website.
I think it's just tradition at this point that the last, like, 5 minutes of any professional sport is the longest 5 minutes of their life. What is it, the last 5 minutes of a football game takes like an hour to play? Maybe not quite, but... Well, setup looks pretty good for the Mychaluk team right now. I thought Penny might draw to the button on her first shot. Try to get buried.
Again, just comes down to preference, right?
Absolutely.
It is the last end. Sometimes it gets a little bit difficult to make those really precise shots.
I think the feeling on for her is if that draw is ever missed, they're in huge trouble. The odds of something good happening here is pretty high. Not sure if that red one's in or not.
I'm not quite sure either, but I don't think that's the outcome they were looking for either.
No. I'll just say, because if that red one's in, there is a double to win the game.
All right, they have called a timeout though, and I think they're looking for their front end to come down and give a little bit of input here.
I think you just put this right where, yeah, right where Victoria got her broom. That's pretty darn good.
I do like involving Janet and Shirley here though, because as sweepers they do need to know exactly where this is going and what the goal is.
I mean, even here, you could technically put up a guard too and guard the path. This is going to curl quite a bit.
Yeah, they're calling a 6, which means they're thinking it'll land top 4.
This is a softer rotation, so it's going to curl huge.
It really comes down to how the sweepers perceive it too, though.
Ooh, just got by. don't actually know. Trying to look at the angle on this.
And I think Team Arsenault is as well, just calling the timeout here. Yeah, we've got quite the crowd around here watching the game as well. These are two really, really close games.
Looks like the final shot from on sheet B is coming up here. There is a pick to win the game. And made perfectly on sheet 2, so Federuk will win and will advance to the 3-4 game tonight. That was a huge 8th end there from Team Federuk.
That was a great end to watch. Yeah, definitely drew a crowd.
Now here we have hit full four to go to an extra. This is going to curl pretty hard too. Should wait for that break, and I'll put the brakes on. This looks pretty good.
Need that break to grab enough of the forefoot as well.
She's got it. Nice shot. Great draw from Penny.
Love the passion for the sweep, though.
And with that, we go one more. Free curling. Looks like it's going to be a long day for whoever wins this one.
Yeah, a lot of the teams that are left will have to play a lot of draws in a row, especially on the men's side. I think it's every draw for the most part until we close here.
The Arsenault team's already played a game today.
They did play a game today.
Played this morning.
Yeah, and this morning's game looked like it went all 8 ends as well, so they've got a lot of curling on their hands.
Looks like they are taking their optional 3-minute break.
All right, and we'll be right back after this break then.
Bonus curling here at the seniors.
All right, and we are back.
Nothing quite like the pressure of overtime here.
Exactly, especially in a game to qualify for the playoffs like this one.
Especially in the loser go home games. These are always tough.
It looks like they're ready to go. First rock has been thrown.
This is where the leads get paid the big bucks. Or maybe big glasses of wine.
I think in a lot of these competitive games, it's where the importance of the lead is really shown.
Oh, absolutely. Well, when you have a lead that's playing fantastic, it just sets you up so well for the rest of the end. When the leads are playing poorly, you really are in a hole, and you're digging yourself out the entire way through.
Yeah, I think it's all about building foundations.
Well, you're just building your way up through the end. Well, it's like building a house. You gotta lay your foundation, build your frame, and then finish it. You need everyone to work together. Mychaluk playing to the wing there. Seen that strategy before.
And taking a little more ice than earlier in the game to get that center line.
I wonder if she's a little bit softer with her throws, because she has been given her more ice than other players.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just knowing your team and knowing how they throw.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, in men's league, you've seen a few of those where I'll give one of my players an extra 1.5 foot on his out turn. But he makes all the shots, so, you know, I'm not going to complain.
Exactly. Consistency and knowing your team is the way to go.
Absolutely. Oh, I think we're going for the tick here.
Again, for those who might have tuned in, the no-tick rule does not apply in this category.
So that rock on the center line can be moved.
The 5-rock rule does still apply, though.
Yes, so you cannot remove this rock. I think she's close to nose on this. No. Yeah, that one can't leave play.
And it looks...
Yeah, and it's going back.
Yep, looks like it has.
I thought I might have swapped it a little bit to try and wick the other red. Probably would have saved it. Also might have left rock top 4 though, so.
You definitely have to weigh your options, and sometimes the rock's coming down towards you. I know it looks slow, but it's only a few seconds.
Whenever on TV they're saying they call the audible, they usually don't have a lot of time to figure out a plan B after the information moves down the ice.
I think building the plane as you're flying it is a term I hear a lot.
That might be a little scary. Maybe it's duct tape. This looks pretty darn good.
That is a great shot.
That is over-buried. There is no way to get rid of that except for with these runbacks.
And it has really shrunk the scoring area down as well.
Yep. I did see her call for the intern here. These are ones where I have seen teams in the past call the out turn because of the jam. So I think they're calling another guard here.
Yeah, if you can get that double guard up in a really good angle.
That was a little bit of the danger when Mychaluk put that rock on the side of the 8 foot, is that it did leave the jam possibility for that run or for that peel if they wanted to play with the out turn. I know when we were at mixed doubles, I did that a couple times.
We'll see if Kim is able to place this guard. Looks like it's just hanging out there a bit. Might have a little
It's a
extra
little
weight.
heavy. You probably want to just drag this into the house. Oh, that's what they're doing. It's already there on its own. Maybe that was the call. I don't foresee that being... that would have been 20 feet heavy if that was the one guard call.
Yeah, definitely. Us two might have misread the call there.
Must have. This one, if you can make the run back here, it's really good shot. No, looks like they're just going for the straight peel.
That works.
We're going to see an exchange of rocks here for a couple. Eventually, Mychaluk will have to make a move on that that cluster in the front. And we say at the guard at the extra end. These are not the easiest shots. Oh, they're trying to bring this one right over.
Yeah, this one's got to come over a bit.
Got to split center on this.
Oh,
Oh, looks like they
there
got
we
it.
go. Just have to be patient.
Very patient. They're on up the entire way. This is definitely just a straight peel. Looks like a pretty good peel.
All right, Ryan, straight back. Straight back, Donna. Up to you. Or I peel it, your choice.
I think the peel here is the right choice because even if you run it straight back, there's a possibility you still leave one or two reds in the house with a guard. I think you wait one more and hope that the guard's not placed properly. This one's curling huge.
Might turn it into the straight back anyways.
And again, that was a little bit of the danger of playing the straight back. You do leave that guard. It is your color, though. But after the shot, so the Arsenault team will have 3 rocks pretty top of the house. Looks like Penny's just going to straight draw on this one.
Where do you want it? Okay.
Can't quite see the angle here, but I would be a little cautious if that red around the horn is there.
Or short, like a guard, right? Yeah.
I love that they're really discussing where they want this to go, where they could.
Yeah, Penny's
No, it's
recognized
okay.
the danger of leaving this red-red combo just a little, almost looks a little too easy to make that double or potentially triple if it was left.
Well, yeah, and even saying a little short's okay too.
Absolutely. Oh, a little short, just another guard. This one I think you can take a little extra ice to you and just make sure you don't overcurl. Oh, this is that track earlier in the game. It was giving the teams both teams a little bit of trouble. But this looks pretty darn good coming down. Need to bump this a little bit. Can't see the setup, but I would think there's a way to get rid of at least 2 of those. As long as you can move them out of the forefoot, that's all you need to do. Just open up for yourself for your last rock.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said about giving yourself some space, not necessarily needing to get rid of all the rocks in the house.
Absolutely. I am surprised that she's not playing a hit here. This is draw. This is draw or tap ice. Because you can't really freeze. If you freeze, they're gonna guard. So you have to be at least be second shot after this. Yeah, I'm shocked they're not hitting.
I wonder if they're trying to set up for something.
Unless they are
or-
playing a hit and they're expecting to curl, 'cause that's board plus weight.
It was quite a bit of ice for.
That was a
for
lot
the
of
weight.
ice. I think Penny's just gonna get a third rock in there, and it's gonna be pretty tough. Yeah, if they chip that top 4-1 about 2 inches over and roll dead in front of their own, I don't really see how Mychaluk scores unless the side of the button's open.
Yeah, and I think the side of the button might be saw Victoria signaling to it as an option for the shot previous.
I still like clearing the front on the last one for them.
Oh, for sure, but definitely just seeing what the options are here.
Yeah, I think they're just looking at kind of for their last. I think that's what she's gonna be looking at for that. Unless there's something wild on the corner that's available, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff over there. I don't know if it's wired or not. I'm gonna say bump 2 inches and roll just in front. That's exactly what she did. Side of the dot here for the win now. This is not a gimme. I don't think I see anything else here.
No, not a lot of options, I think, here. Makes it an easy choice, though.
Yep. Saw Brent Pierce make this in the men's final last year. Got an extra point.
They're certainly not impossible shots.
Definitely not. This. I think she needs full four plus here, and she has it, and that should be available. Let her curl. This will move.
Sweepers were keeping this one clean, so good rock management down.
I think it's over curling. Yeah.
It has over curled, and that's
Wait,
handshakes.
wait, was really, really good on that.
Yeah, it was definitely close.
And Team Arsenault looks like they will steal the win here.
All right, and that is all from here in Langley, and we will see you back in the next draw at 7 p.m.